We're going to make plays. We're going to play hard. We're going to do what we got to do. O-line, D-line, toughness, 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 toughness.
Hey, Buckeye Nation. Welcome to the Buckeye Cast, your only commercial-free Ohio State football podcast. These guys were born and bred in the Buckeye State, and they like to talk Buckeye football and drink bourbon. Subscribe and leave a review wherever you get your podcast. Now, pour a drink and pull up a stool. Here's your host, Joe Warwick.
It's done!
All right. We are back. We are back, baby. It's been so fucking long. When's the last time we talked to these people, Shawn?
It's been a while.
Yeah, been a minute. So, as always, folks, we appreciate you joining us. Hope you're checking out the press conference podcast that we're putting out. Just wherever you get podcasts, you'll find our previous episodes. I just put out all the press conference interviews from Friday with the assistant coaches and Ryan Day. The Coach Mick one was my favorite. He went for like 30 minutes. A couple other guys went for 30 minutes. Jim Knowles is always good to listen to because he's just pretty freaking smart, and he'll tell you the nuts and bolts of the defense if you ask the right questions. So check those out. As always, hit the supply store, thebuckeyecast.com. I just put out 4 new designs a couple weeks ago, so check those out. And as always, free shipping for any order over $50. So buy 2 shirts, free shipping. Boom, done.
Boom.
Guys, you got any bourbon talk? Since it's been so long, I'm sure you've digested a little. Shawn, you taking in any of the brown stuff?
No, actually, the last thing that I had that I would feel like needed to be mentioned was I just tried that tequila that is at $14.92, I believe, and that's some pretty nice, smooth stuff. I don't know.
Not to be confused with $17.92 bourbon.
Be confused with that.
What?
$14.92 tequila.
Gotcha.
Oh, Farah. What is that?
Don, who? 90.
You guys hear that?
What's that?
Sorry.
I got Shawn's dropping out a little bit, but
Sorry, I thought that was an Amber Alert that came through my cell phone. I didn't put it on Do Not
Oh.
Disturb. So and I thought you guys were hearing it too. I was like, oh shit, we got a fire drill.
Oh,
It was
jeez.
just, it was an Amber Alert that comes through the iPhone. So
Oh.
sorry about that. Technical difficulty. I'll fix that real quick.
anyway. So Shawn, tequila Don Julio, $14.92. How'd you drink that? On the rocks or?
Nope, straight up in a tiny little glass, just super smooth. You start getting into those nicer tequilas, and some of that stuff is nice. So,
So
jump or
I got-
something,
I got-
and you move into the tequila direction.
I got a question, Shawn. So Shawn, you prefer your tequila just neat, warm, room temperature? You're good with that, or I mean, do you go
This
rock?
this 1492, I was completely happy with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I only had it once and just had a little bit of it.
I
completely
enjoy a good tequila. I do like a good tequila, but I gotta have it chilled. I got at least shaken and rock, and strained. Something. It's got to be chilled. I'm gonna sip it.
I think you'd probably be ruining this stuff, but to be honest with you.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't have room in my bar for more bottles. It's
No,
smothered with
This
bourbon.
is actually, it's a real tall, slim bottle. It doesn't take up
Oh.
much real estate.
Nice. So I can keep it in my car.
you know those little pockets behind the front seats,
Yeah.
where you put your map or your napkins or something. Yeah, just slide a little bottle of tequila in there. Nobody will notice it.
Right.
Fine.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I guess tequila is kind of the summer drink, right?
Yes,
If we're talking
that's what they say.
seasonal liquors.
Give it a try.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
I
been
would
a
treat
long
it like a
time.
nice bourbon. You know,
I'll
it's
tell
not
you what,
something where
salt
you
rim.
don't drink the bottle of this.
Right.
Yeah,
Unless
so
you don't want to
sip
wake
it.
up tomorrow.
I'm good with a margarita if you want to go heavy rocks, salt rim, your choice of tequila, whatever. Heavy lime squeeze. No, none of that. No margarita juice, none of that premix bullshit. I'm with that. Yeah, just sip it. Just a sipping margarita, not a fruity frozen cocktail.
I like
But yeah,
margaritas.
but it's gotta be chilled. I like I'll do shots. I'll do shots warm.
Ah,
And nightmares of younger when I was doing 1800 Cuervo, just warm. Ugh. But
Yeah, but
you chill
you
it a little
wouldn't
bit.
really want to do
I
a
can
shot
sip
of
tequila all
this.
day long if I have it chilled.
So it'd be like
It'd
doing a
be a
shot of
waste.
Buffalo, right?
Yeah, like who wants
You
a
would
shot
sip
of
it.
Buffalo warm?
Right.
Yeah,
Well, you would
sip
sip it because you want to taste it, right, Shawn? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, you shoot it. It's like,
I got
okay,
you.
that's gone.
Yeah. You just paid $30 for a shot you never tasted.
Yeah.
You taste it once, like, oh, that was good. I wish I had. Well,
Yeah. Hey, Shawn, you're kind of dropping out like every other word almost. I'm not sure what's going on there. You got your
hold
lines
on. I'm going to
crossed.
change out my.
Uh-oh. The change out
Hold on a
mid pod.
second here.
Here we go.
Hit the pit crew.
Mark this.
There. There. Is that better? Is
Keep
that
talking.
better?
Yeah. I haven't heard anything bad yet.
Okay.
It's just different.
Yeah.
It was like dropping out every third or fifth word.
Every fourth word.
Yeah. It was ironic. All right, folks. So tonight we're going to run through a potpourri of things, just a bunch of topics. But our main topic is the future of college football. Sometimes I forget we're actually talking to people. So we're going to quickly talk about roster updates, guys coming and going. And we'll get into our main topic about the future of college football. I want to get Jeff and Shawn's takes because we are men of the people. We have been with people, and we care about what you guys think. So we want to give you our 2 cents, and if you have the same opinion, let me know. So what do you guys think? You want to talk a little quick NFL draft? 3 Buckeye receivers going in the first round, right in a row.
Yeah, I want to mention that. Buckeye fans are catching so much shit for saying that exact statement you just said.
Yeah.
Because there's all these fans, and it's SEC. It's not just Bama fans.
Oh yeah. Well, they stick together down there.
The Mason-Dixon line cutoff is calling us fucking phonies for claiming Jamison Williams. Like you're hopping on a dude.
SEC.
What about fucking
SEC.
Burrow? Yeah. You know what I mean? And I didn't think there was any type of venom, but there is, for real. I was seeing some of it. I was like, wow. I guess we can't claim him if he does bigger production at another school, i.e. Burrow. The fucking South will not let you claim him, you goddamn carpetbaggers.
Yeah.
Don't be claiming them boys from the South.
Developed there, not developed here.
Yeah, made. They say made here. That's what they say.
False.
But that was really cool. That was really cool to see because the 3 of them are really good friends. I think they went to Bama's spring game last year and saw J-Mo, I think, and they've been together a lot. Jameson, Garrett, Chris. So they're still really close friends. So I think it's super cool they went, in a row together. Prospect wise, I don't know. I like Olave with the Saints more, I think, just because they're a better established organization. But the other 2. There was shit organizations historically. Hopefully that changes for them.
Got Jameis slinging it around down in the Big Easy.
I mean, overall, just it's been Sean Payton though. It's been that when you say the Saints have a good organization, when Sean Payton was there, he's not there. Let's see what Jameis does. Let's see how good that organization is without their leader. But I think it's super cool that the three of them all going in together. They're close friends. They went back to back to back in picks. I don't know how they decide who buys dinner. Since they all got the same draft, they all got the same contracts, but.
Shawn, what do you think about JMO going that early with an ACL?
I didn't love the. I'm up here in Detroit Lions land, and for them to move up to get JMO coming off a knee, I mean, I think it's pretty much a given. You get a knee now, a knee's not a big deal, but once you have one knee, now it is a big deal because you don't have another one to give. Pretty much.
And he may not be able to play for the first 4 to 6, 8 weeks. Who knows?
That's what they said. Maybe November. Maybe by mid-November he'll be ready. So that's fast. That's fast. I mean, from January to November, you're still 10.5 months or so. That's a fast turnaround on ACL. I know it's getting better and better every year, but not everybody is Adrian Peterson. There's only a handful that do it inside of a year. It's not like a given yet.
Yeah, he did, tear it late in the season there. So,
goddamn January. It was the playoffs.
Yeah. Yep.
It's risky, no doubt. I mean,
but that's what the Lions do, right?
Why not try anything?
And I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way when JMO left. I thought, hey, good on you, kid. You know where you stood here. And you were going to be a part of it, but you weren't going to be the guy. And you saw an opportunity to go to Bama. I thought, hey, right on, good for you. And then he came out with that, I don't claim them, they don't claim me bullshit kind of stuff. And was it his dad or whatever writing shit or whatever, and some words said on the interwebs. And then that starts to sour me on that type of stuff. And we'll see how it plays out. I wish him the best.
Yeah.
As far as Olave and Wilson go, I think, I don't know. I'm excited to see him play. I'd probably agree with Jeff. At least he's in a good system on a good organization. We'll see about
Olave.
Yeah. We'll see about Wilson.
Yeah. Oh, quick. I need to jump back to the bourbon segment. We forgot to finish one thing. Jeff, how was that brown butter bourbon I gave you?
Good. Different. I drank it just a little bit ice. Just a little bit ice.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. But I would I would have a shot of Old Forester. Not I would sip a shot and sip that like I would trade off and on.
Oh.
Sit back and forth.
Because
it's a little, it was a little strong. I mean, not strong is the word.
Okay.
Just a little change up. I sipped a little.
Sounds like you hated it.
Yeah.
No.
I thought it.
I wouldn't say hated it.
Way to fucking dance around that shit.
Okay. That's all right. I just was curious. I think it tastes like butterscotch candies. Those old school, old people candies. It's like you popped one of those in your mouth and took a shot. But
yeah, it did have.
I just wanted to get your feedback on that.
But I did sip some regular bourbon or straight bourbon, just to kind of cleanse the palate.
Okay. Right now I have some bacon fat bourbon, so watch out. Next time you come around.
What did you use? Which one did you use? With the fat?
It was Larceny?
Larceny?
No. Walking Stick. It was Walking Stick.
Mm.
So anyway, I'll next time you come around, I'll probably still have some. Anyway, back to the draft. I wanted to point out on the draft, you notice that no Ohio State defensive players were taken until day 3. And I think that is a glaring reason why the defense was so terrible. I mean, take scheme out of it, but I don't feel like we just had the talent. I mean, and how does freaking Haskell Garrett not go drafted? There must be some medical issue there.
Correct on both points. Yeah, not sure. No word. Obviously, there's been no word out of Ohio State about Haskell in the draft. I mean, it's not really their place anymore. So I haven't really followed Haskell Garrett on Twitter or Instagram and try to figure out if there was anything going on with him. But Tyreek Smith being the only defensive player drafted, it speaks to exactly what you're saying, Joe. 100%. We haven't had NFL talent coming out of that defense the last couple of years. The ones we have been drafted high. P. Werner, he got drafted top 3 round, played like a top 3 rounder, contributor.
Yeah.
Obviously we've had the first round defensive backs the last couple of years, blah blah blah. But and then Okuda dealing with injuries. Chase Young, both of them injuries in their second year. Hopefully they bounce back and become impact players in the NFL. But we haven't had them. We've had that. There's been a gulf in the NFL talent wise. Ratings to play college. We've had those. But those guys that are ready to be NFL players just need a little bit of developing. We haven't had those in the last 2 cycles. I think we have them. I think we have them in the program now. I think there are some in the program now. We just missed. We had a little lull. I think we have them still in the pipeline, but man, we hit a little lull. I mean,
Shawn, you think we can blame injuries, or you think it's just misses on guys?
Yeah, I think misses on guys. Frankly,
there you go. Yep.
Guys that just didn't. They came in highly touted and just didn't pan out. I think next season you're going to have a few more than that, just because the way the cycle's going to fall.
Yeah.
Good thing Burke won't even be eligible, but he's going to be, highly sought after draft pick when he is. We'll see what all comes out of the safety position. Linebackers, I don't know. Well, obviously that's a huge question mark. I don't even know who our linebackers are going to be. There's so many of them.
I don't know if one's going to be able to set himself above the rest and be draft eligible, at linebacker. I mean, and DBs, we haven't put out a DB since Okuda, right? Okuda and Arnett, 2019. That's the last class, right?
Well, Jordan Fuller.
Well, Fuller, but that was 6th round, man.
The same year.
But he's
all same year.
I get that. I get that, but I'm saying 1st round draft pick, starting corner like Lattimore, Okuda, that type. We haven't had that in a couple of years, and I understand Seven Banks had the injury. And hand up, I was the guy that a year and a half ago, over a year ago, put in a bet on Seven Banks going in the 1st round. So didn't see that coming. And now he's at LSU. So, and same with Cam Brown. I mean, injuries have plagued him. Who knows how good he could be.
Well, we're about to find out.
You know what though? I could totally see fucking Seven Banks, because he's at LSU and say he starts and stays healthy. He's gonna be a fucking All-American. Just watch. I could totally see it. And then he ends up being that.
Maybe
he ends up being.
He had a serious hip injury. I don't know. So anyway, let's keep it moving here.
Anyway,
Let's talk roster changes and the portal, things like that. Do we need to go back and talk about Quinn Ewers leaving? That seemed like that was a long time ago.
That was.
Just tell me if he's starting at Texas. Is he starting?
I think he has to, right?
What? No way.
I don't. I heard he's looking at number 2 right now.
I don't think so.
Things I heard about Texas football. Oh shit!
I don't think so.
Sarkisian, he's drafted a couple, or not drafted, Jesus. Freudian slip. He's recruited a couple of big quarterbacks. I don't think it's a given that Quinn Ewers is taking that job this year.
I don't care. I like Johnny Utah. Who's our boy? This kid's gonna be good.
Devin Utah. Yeah.
Devin Brown, yeah. So, talking about roster updates. So we lost a bunch of dudes in December. Ryan Watts. We brought in Parker Lewis from SC. He's a kicker with 3 years of eligibility. Big leg.
Yeah,
I can see him.
Comments after the spring game. He had those comments about.
Right.
I can't believe how they feel about football around here. This is crazy.
Right. So I see him being a kickoff guy, and then in the future being your field goal guy. But right now he's got the bigger leg than Ruggles. And if you want continuous, touchbacks and fair catches on the kickoff, I think he's your guy, which makes sense.
But
to
Ruggles
me.
is back too, though, right?
He is back. Yeah, he took off school for this spring semester. He'll be back.
Yeah.
Seven Banks, like we mentioned, LSU, Cormonte Hamilton is still lingering out there. Minor update, Jocelyn Wint and Amir Reap still in the portal. But no updates on their legal case.
Not confined. They're not confined. That case is not over?
No updates on the legal case. So they must be going to trial, and you know how going to trial takes like 10 years. So
Still, I mean,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. I mean, but within 24 months, usually you have some movement on that.
yeah, who knows? It sounds like it's going to be
a long
a
time. That's a long time to not be moving along that case. Wow.
Right. I think that explains why they're still in the portal, because schools don't know their future.
Of course, of course, nobody's going to say anything and say. So, can you imagine though, man, 2 years, right? It's been 2 full years.
2020, yeah, February 2020.
Like, just what are these kids doing? Like, if they're not in custody, and shit, they're just sitting around. Like, I guess we just wait and see if they bring charges. Man, that's a bad feeling to have about getting up, going to work every day. You can't go to school. You don't have
a place to go.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You got to go find a job, and then you wake up every day like, is this the day they press charges, or is this the day we go to, I get locked up? That's a tough way to deal with,
Yeah.
whether you did it or not.
Yeah.
Damn.
Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving here.
Yeah.
We don't need to dwell on old news.
No, that's
Legend
that's crazy to hear
Cavazos. Right, I know. Legend Cavazos and Jacoby Cowan both transferred to North Carolina. You got Bryson Shaw reuniting with his boy Grinch out in Southern Cal. You got Andre Turrentine, one of the most recent transfer entries, going to Tennessee. Hopefully he got a bag. And then you got Marcus Hooker still lingering out there with no home yet. So those are the guys that have left. Who have we brought in there? Let's look at this real quick. Besides the kicker, let's see.
Our numbers were big though, so we couldn't bring in too much.
Yeah, we really didn't bring in anybody.
No, I know we were over. How that worked out or whatever, I don't know, with the super seniors or whatever, but
Right.
we were over. So we needed more subtraction than we could have do addition.
Yeah, I'm just running through this roster list just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. But yeah, you did have Chip Trainum came in, a linebacker / running back from ASU, and of course the safety McAllister. Those are really the only three additions: the kicker, and then the safety and the linebacker.
The butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker.
There you go. And then we got our incoming freshmen and stuff that some of them aren't on campus yet. So, yeah, a lot of moving parts, but for the most part, Brian Day, which you should expect to hear this from him, is not going to live in the portal. This is not Mel Tucker. This is not SMU. This is not some of these other schools that are just living day to day through the portal. His goal is to recruit high school kids and develop them for the NFL. That's his sales pitch. So seems to be working fine. Recruiting, we got.
We're at that next level. Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Recruiting, we got a few commits. Yeah. Recruiting, we got a couple commits. Most recently, we got Austin Saraveld from Lakota East down in the Cincinnati area. We got the top 3 O linemen out of Ohio, which is probably key, right? We need to take 5. We definitely need tackles, though, right? It depends on where Luke Montgomery ends up on the line out of Findlay, representing the 419. He could be a tackle. He's super athletic. He plays on LeBron James's son's AAU basketball team. So the kid's good. He's got feet, hands.
Joe, about Luke, he played tight end also in high school. But they're talking about he might be playing guard in college.
Yeah.
He may be moving all the way from not even tackle, but moving to guard.
Right.
I believe so. He played tackle and tight end at Finland.
He might have. I don't know about the tight end part. I know he definitely played tackle.
I think he had. As far I'm speaking to his athleticism, which is why I heard he might. They're not sure if he's going to move to tackle. I was kind of wondering. I was like, well, he seems pretty athletic to be having to be shoved in more further inside to a guard spot.
Yeah, we'll see. It's still
he's
early.
He's still in high school. Mick hasn't had him yet. So
Henry, what do you think about this Ohio and Florida mix of this 2023 class so far? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids from Ohio, and 1, 2, 3, 4 from Florida.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think, I'd like to see, a couple more from there. I'd like to see, 2 or 3 from Texas. A couple Pennsylvania, Virginia kids here and there. Maybe New Jersey.
Yeah.
Joe, I heard something about the top 3 linemen in Ohio. The last time we took the top 3 linemen in Ohio was, I think, 2009.
Yeah.
And 2 of them made the pros, and Marcus Hall was the 3rd. Marcus Hall was a solid starter for us. So Jack Muhort, Corey Lindsley, Marcus Hall. The last time we took the last 3 top in Ohio, it turned out, they all turned out to be players. So it is nice to have the top 3. Now I want to go get 2 more 5-stars, and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
We need.
Yeah, that's,
those guys.
That's my concern.
They're outside top 150. So we definitely need to be in on some of these 5-stars as well. We have the room for 2 or 3 more linemen. I think they're thinking about 23 in this class.
Yeah, right? We need 2 more linemen for sure. We need a total of 5. Looking like Ennis is probably in the class. Whether we get Carnell Tate still up in the air because Tennessee's coming hard with a lot of cash. So that's up in the air. But we definitely have some 5-stars that you could almost pencil in to the class. Guys like Richard Young, I'm not sure about. And
who's the Sensabaugh, right? Sensabaugh's the other running back. What's his name? Bryce Sensabaugh.
No.
There was 2 5-star running backs that we were still.
Richard Young is the guy we're going after. That's the only one that we're really going after. That's a 5-star. You got DJ U's brother. So there's a lot of guys still out there that we're in on. Justice Haynes, he could end up playing fucking baseball. So we don't know about him. He's a running back. Tackett Curtis,
That might be the name. That
This-
might be the name that was in my head, man.
This linebacker out of Louisiana, he's right there on the Louisiana-Texas border. This linebacker looks like a fucking stud. I really like this kid, and LSU apparently is not even in on him.
Really?
Yeah.
What? How?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Brian Kelly,
How?
you know, he lives to the beat of
what
his own
happened?
drum. He's an idiot.
LSU does not lose 5-star running backs out of Louisiana.
Well, if they don't recruit him, they do.
I mean,
He's
that's
not-
what I'm saying. I mean, they've never. They don't. If there's a 5-star in that state, I don't think they have ever left. Not that I can remember.
Yeah, we don't get a ton of kids from
that
Louisiana.
would be huge.
No, we sure don't.
No, that would never do. That would be huge though to get an inroad. I mean, that would mean more than just getting that kid. It would mean more grand scheme. That would be huge.
When you think about recruiting strategies, this is what Ohio State does. They find a weakness in a state where maybe there's a coaching change or a coach is on his way out or just came in, and they pounce in those areas. That's why they're big in Florida right now. You got like all the colleges in Florida are new coaches or struggling, you know. Nobody has come in. I mean, if anybody, you could say Mario Cristobal is the best of the four, maybe.
Yes. I think.
And he hasn't even played a game yet.
As far as recruiting, though, dude knows how to recruit at the highest of highest levels.
But he has to do it.
That's for sure.
He hasn't done it
yet. He has to do it. Yeah, but he's starting his shit. You know, day one as soon as he got there. What, 6 months ago or 3 months ago?
Yeah,
3
it was
months
like
ago.
January.
Yeah. So I mean, he's running full steam ahead. Miami is, but it's still Miami, and they're still legs behind. But you have what the fuck? That Southern dude at Florida. Yeah, and Noel at Florida State. Not the best. They're trying to gain their traction, but yeah, they're still young. They're still new in the area.
Yeah, Billy Napier is at Florida.
Napier, but he's recruited the South his whole life. He just gets into bigger high schools now. You know, so they can pull. And plus, with NIL, your coach doesn't have to be great recruiter. If your money's right, your coach is right. You know,
these kids still want to play on Sunday. That's the reality of it. And if they're going to get 20 grand more here at this school, I mean, the idiot kids will take that. But if you want to play on Sundays, you're going to go to the place that gives you the best chance to develop you and do that.
Exactly. And development is still the key.
Yeah, because I don't care how good you think you are. They're talking about, you don't. Could you imagine if 18-year-olds could go right to the NFL? I mean, maybe there's the rare occasion that would work, but that's a fucking man's game, man.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't see many 18-year-olds that can fucking do that.
Look at CJ Stroud going straight to the NFL for 3 years. He's gonna have the shit knocked out of him.
Oh, he wouldn't make it.
Yeah, he was like 190 pounds when he came out of high school.
What kind of development is that for somebody? Yeah, I'm completely overmatched in everything I do against these grown men for 3 years. That's not development. You're not getting better.
The only position that you could possibly be close, if you had a great high school program, is maybe running back or receiver. If you're fully developed as a senior and in high school, running back and receiver, they're definitely not O-line, D-line. Definitely not quarterback.
Like a Leonard Fournette. He came out of high school.
Yeah.
Built to run in the NFL. It may have been, like
Henry.
It's a rare case. Derrick Henry. Yeah. He was 225 in high school, mowing over people, carrying kids down the field.
But exactly. Yeah, perfect example. But look at how often that is. Once every 5 years.
And we've not allowed it to happen. And you know what? I don't care. I don't think they're not even the physical, the mental.
That's where it is.
The whole shebang.
18-year-olds can't handle pro lifestyle. And I
don't know. That is a man's game. That's a different level. You're going to go from high school. I mean, that's not even like the same sport. Right. I mean, you're playing a completely different game than you've ever played in your life. You're going from that to that.
Now,
Look at how many 5-stars struggled just to go from high school to college. In college, where everything is mapped out for you.
Well,
Right.
there's those few kids that those few kids that have them sophomore years that are you're like, whoa, Jadavian Clowney, right? His sophomore year, people said you shouldn't even play your junior year. Don't even play a game. You're already the number one pick.
Saquon Barkley.
So like there, maybe there should be like an exception rule. That, like if you qualify, you can be like in that case. Because he should have went to pros and been the number one pick.
I think maybe you could drop it a year. Maybe you could drop it a year.
I mean, just let people leave after the sophomore year. Maybe that's it.
But that's pretty sticky when you start trying to create qualifications why this guy is able to go when this guy isn't. I don't know how you. I mean, but if the league are looking at, if the league wanting that person that's telling you, he's going to be one of the first 10 people picked. Yeah, you should let him come. We all think he's ready. Their draft grades that they get back from the scouts. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, NCAA is they do the basketball kind of right because you can go all the way to the draft and not sign an agent, and then you can pull out like a week before the draft or a couple weeks before the draft. In basketball, you get those evaluations. So
I pull out at the last minute typically, but anyway. So let's talk future of college football before the night gets away from us. We're quickly the hourglass is running. So Gene,
pulling out.
So she said. So Gene had some interesting comments at these meetings out in Scottsdale this week with all of the big power players and the TV networks. Basically, meeting of the minds out there, and so he says that the Power. I think he was speaking on regard to the Power Five about them breaking away from the NCAA because they have the ability to create their own governing body for the Power Five. And he didn't come out and say the Power Five, so that's why I'm still kind of up in the air. Did he mean the Big Ten? Did he mean Big Ten and SEC? Did he mean just the Power Five? I don't know. Anyway, so he's saying they do have the ability to create their own governing body for a breakaway from the NCAA because, like, he's basically saying, without saying it, he's saying this is not the same sport. We are not playing the same sport as lower levels of Division I, as UMass or pick a rando school that sucks.
The MAC.
A MAC team. So he's saying we have the ability to break away and basically be our own organization. And so this leads us down the path and into the Big Ten TV deal that's coming up. That's going to be signed by the end of this month, and that's going to be $1 billion a year, man. And it's going to be a combination of Fox, a little bit of ESPN. Who knows? It may have some streaming like Amazon or Apple TV involved. Who knows? But the total is going to be $1 billion for the conference, and this is what's causing this NIL explosion, and this is why we have this huge influx of cash and have for years into college football and into these schools, and that's why the schools don't know what the fuck to do with it, so they just keep building new shit, increasing coaches' salaries. Now they're Ohio State's going to give academic bonuses to their athletes if they reach a certain parameter every semester, up to $1,500 a semester per player. But this Big Ten TV deal is the influx. That's going to be $70 million per school, and it starts next year. And these schools are already trying to figure out what the fuck they're going to do with all this money. It's like a Brinks truck is just backing up to the Woody and unloading cash, So.
Right. So
Jeff, turn off your video, please.
Sure.
Thank you. So anyway, I wanted to say
the previous deal though, Joe. We were making what, $50 million per school?
I don't know if it was even that much, honestly. And Maryland and Rutgers were still on their double secret probation because they're not long-term members, and I don't even think they're getting any money yet. Do I have you?
Well, yeah, I'm here. So, I mean, that's a big, you add $20 million to any football team's budget. Now it stays, I guess it gets dispersed throughout the athletic department. It doesn't stay in like the football team's budget. But what Gene Smith's kind of talking about is potentially it could. Like the football team is going to be, it might be its own separate entity from the university. Is that kind of what Gene Smith was kind of like potentially talking about? Like the football teams of these universities are a part of something separate from the other athletics that aren't.
He didn't say that exactly, but he didn't deny that.
It kind of okay, right? But he kind of led to that being
the door's open for sure.
Right, like a potential of what society could be.
Right. Shawn, what do you think about right now, the way we're moving and this revenue sharing bill that was just put on the floor in the California State Senate, and it passed through their Judiciary Committee, and they got 50,000 committees, of course, and everything. So they're going to vote on it again. It's going to get rewritten, but Shawn, does NIL and then maybe this revenue sharing that turns college football players into almost full-time employees or at least unionized employees, how do you feel about this?
Well, I don't know. It's going to be the beginning of the end of regular football. I think college football in 5 years won't look like what it does today. And it'll
the game or the business, the game itself or the business, Shawn.
Both, because I don't think college football will necessarily be as ubiquitous nationwide. Hoping it stays that way, but I feel like there's going to be some type of super league where they are their own governing body, and I hope it doesn't kill like MAC football and stuff like that. I hope that's still a thing. It'd be, but will it be that closely associated with the schools? All this money these kids are making, I don't know. Are they allowed to have agents now? If they're making that much money,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
So they've got agents. I mean,
because you have to have somebody represent you for the NIL deals.
Right.
The school's not doing it.
Yeah. What's the liability? What's the thing when? I don't know. There's a lot of what ifs here. It's moving pretty fast, and
there's no rules. That seems to be a big issue. There's no fucking rules to NIL, and you got tampering.
Right now has an agent. He has an agent that can ink him whatever deals he fucking wants. As long as it's not tobacco or strip clubs or drugs.
Alcohol.
Pretty much. Yeah, alcohol. I mean, other those, that's the only guidelines that we've ever heard about, right? It can't be because those are school policies of can't be tobacco, gambling, whatever whatever those basic guidelines. But that's the only guidelines that any of us have ever heard. Yeah. And every school is different, according to every state is different. And until any of that gets not unionized, like there has to. I don't even know who the governing. It's a big question of who should control this. Should the NCAA just expect the bailout from the from the Congress, and have Congress do it? Do we? Really
that didn't go well last time.
No.
And the Supreme Court didn't go well with them either.
Sankey and what the fuck is his name from the Pac-12 were just in D.C. this week.
Yeah.
Okay, because they're wanting Congress to. Hey, it sounds like though at least now they want to say, hey, this is what we want to do. Help us enact it. But before,
and they got fucking bitch slapped by this congresswoman the other day.
Yeah,
and because they're idiots and they can't do anything on their own.
Yeah, because never
speaking of the NCAA, right? And you got Mark Emmert on his way out next year. So he's thrown his hands up, obviously, for how many years now? And why would he care now?
Yeah. He's like, he wants to get his 3.5 and be gone. He's cool.
Right.
He's like, let me get my 3.5 this year. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, it's all y'all's problem. He's like backing away slowly.
Right. So my concern, guys, is I think they're creating, and this may be in baby steps, this may not happen overnight, but I think they're creating a semi-pro league. I mean, college football has always been a minor league for the NFL, but now they're separating themselves.
A free minor league at the time. Yeah, it was free.
Right. So this is the nightmare that I wake up to, and that is we turn on a Saturday game at noon, late in November, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and it's the Columbus Buckeyes sponsored by The Ohio State University versus the Ann Arbor Wolverines sponsored by the University of Michigan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that would be a
this is what I picture in my head.
That would be the low. I mean, that would be miserable.
It's going that way. I mean, there's too much money involved. Everyone's a gangster and a crook everywhere, and everyone's just trying to get theirs right now. And it's a giant shit show. And everyone's in that giant money pile. Like you said, but everyone wants some. And so that's going to bring out the worst of everybody. And you're going to get what you get.
You will see agents multiply by the thousands in like little pods and seeds.
Well, this is the issue when you don't put any rules in effect. The adults in the room, which you trust to actually make good decisions, are the ones ruining it. They're the ones offering everybody money.
That's the first rule is don't trust people that are making decisions in a room. If they can't make them in public, then it's bullshit.
Right.
Yeah, but can you imagine though? I mean, just getting to a point where, is there going to be any regulation to these kids that come out of high school? Is it? I mean, it's like free agency coming out of high school, right? So
Ohio,
whatever the sell package Ohio State has now and Bama has now, it's gonna be the same sell package. It's just included in the school, the development, the atmosphere, blah blah blah. It's gonna be. Here's the contracts we can, the money that can be offered to you.
Look at this 50-50 revenue sharing, Jeff. 50-50. So take that $1 billion that goes to every school, cut that in half, and then divide that among 85 scholarship players.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. That's six figures per person if you don't even fucking play.
And that's what I'm saying. Is that going to be an equal distributorship? Or is that going to be somehow marketized, I guess, by like how professional sports are? Because they get revenue sharing in the professional sports, but not everybody gets the same share.
Well, Jeff, there's no fucking rules.
The teams do. There's in professional sports, there's from the league gives the teams money, and then from the teams it goes to the players.
Right.
In college, the college ain't taking the money. It's all just going from whoever to the players. So there's no second hand, there's no filter. It's fucking wild. It's fucking, it's not the same. It cannot be the same as professional sports. You can't run it the same. It can't operate the way it is now and be professional. It's got to.
Shawn,
there's gonna be some give one way or the other. Like you said, Shawn, this might be the last bit of college football that we see of these next couple of years until new contracts are up, but. It may turn it. It may be there might be enough people strong enough to keep it, and appease everybody's needs as far as revenue sharing, but not make it something different. Get it back, kind of keep it on the rails, and just figure out a way to just keep getting people money. I don't think we're gonna see different types of college football for the next 5 years. I think if we're going to see college football like we've been seeing college football, it's going to the viewers, the viewingship of it. I don't think is going to be changing.
Shawn, what do you think about when you introduce revenue sharing? That sounds like big business type stuff where you got to have a union bartering or bartering with management, right?
Right. Well, at first it'll start out. Management will say, "Hey, here's the rules," and then
Yeah.
the people that are getting it will realize, "Hey, we're getting fucked here." And
Yep.
you're right. It'll go to someone like, "Hey, we need someone to negotiate on all our behalfs across all sports, and we need a steward with management." And then, yeah, it could come down to something like that. And if I don't know what it generates, but
That quarterback from Northwestern tried that shit years ago. Probably could use that guy now.
What was he doing?
He was trying to set up unionization in college
Yeah.
sports.
That's right.
Yeah, I forget his name. Sure he's rich. And
I don't
that kind of
see.
thing.
I just it got out of hand, and it got out of hand, and we get what we get, and this is the natural progression with what we've created with this monster college football.
Yeah, this influx of cash.
But
that's why
it's run by gangsters at the top, the NCAA,
Yeah.
and these athletic directors and these companies, and it's gangsterville.
Yeah. These collectives are not helping matters, especially since they're set up by boosters, which suddenly I think people forgot that boosters aren't supposed to have contact with recruits. That's like a number one no-no.
Not anymore, right?
They weren't supposed to ever.
No, still.
But now
that's still a rule. That NCAA rule.
And now the NCAA says they're gonna, come up with these random rules and stuff. Everybody takes that with a grain of salt.
Hold on. Why can't boosters be part of an NIL deal? I'm imagining
they are.
The NIL deals are coming. So
yes, they very much are. But they're not supposed to have contact with a recruit. There's this quote unquote gray area where, yes, they can set up a collective like Brian Schottenstein did for Ohio State, but he's not supposed to technically show this recruit, this is what we can do for you, and give them a PowerPoint presentation of we can make you $7 million over your 4-year career. They're still not supposed to have that contact, but I mean, Texas A&M has been the poster child for exactly doing that, and that's why they have the number one class in the country this coming year. So. Yeah, I'm just really concerned about the future. If I do say I gotta get this one point off my chest before we move on or continue, I will not watch a semi-pro college football league or whatever it might be, any organization that is basically just guys playing for money where there's no attachment. Once you remove the attachment to the university, I don't know what we're watching then. That seems like the USFL to me. Am I off?
I would hope that you would keep Ohio State football and build it, and there'd be like that would still be like the farm league to that league or whatever or something.
So like a minor league?
Yeah, essentially. And your best kids go to the other league, but there's a lot of good kids that aren't gonna get in that. It's not gonna be enough teams. There's still gonna be a lot of dudes that can play football. And the talent level and gap would probably bring a lot of parity to college football. I don't know though. Then does but if
you're talking about two different leagues developing?
If college football were to maintain like a sub, a minor league, you wouldn't get a guy like Ryan Day. I mean, college football is a big deal right now, and it's to me a big deal to be a big time program coach. If there becomes another league between that and the NFL, now it's, I don't know. Now you're the best high school coach. I mean, who gives a shit?
I hear you.
But what if you're doubling Ryan Day's salary and all of his assistants to move up into this breakaway from the NCAA, whatever you want to call it, the P5 organization? What if you're gonna, because of all this cash coming in from the TV networks, what if you just say, look guys, we have all this money, we don't know what to do with it, we know you're great at coaching and developing players for the NFL, so we're separating from the NCAA, let's double your salaries and you continue to do the same job. That seems like a yes to me.
Well, yeah, if you're talking like those top colleges, like the
Ohio State,
powerhouse
Alabama, yeah,
that those circles,
Georgia.
take the cream of the crop, in whatever that number you want to be. You want that number to be 25 or 20 or 30 or 40, whatever you want that conference to be, and then just play them. Y'all just play each other and name your national title. That's still college football to me. I'll still watch Ohio State, even though they've separated from, the Mountain West and the MAC and all them. They don't compete on the same level. I'll still, since we're still competing against other colleges at our level.
But what if you disconnect the school from the football team? Like I said, a semi-pro league, the Columbus Buckeyes.
The thing is,
the college will never. Obviously, the college will never lend their name to a semi-pro league that they don't have.
You pay for the licensing. You pay for the licensing of the colors and the logo, and you probably have to pay like a rental fee for the fucking stadium.
So
but
who pays
the rest of it is off? The rest of it is off campus.
Who would pay that though to the schools?
This organization, the organization that collects the checks.
Who's gonna fund women's rowing?
That's still up to the school. The school's gonna have to handle that.
Without the revenue.
If you get rid of that, then basically you've just destroyed the rest of college athletics, because football pays for that.
Right.
And I mean, and most of these kids, exactly it. I mean, all these student athletes, there wouldn't be these wrestling teams and hockey teams and gymnastics teams that generate. They're only a liability. They suck money out of the schools.
Shawn, you got the Nevada Buck Tennis Center on campus. He can handle that. His family pays for that shit.
I don't know, man.
I'm just kidding. No, I understand your point, but if Gene says they're breaking away from the NCAA, if that's just football, because all the other sports drain the system, I don't know. It seems logical to me.
I mean, I don't know, because college sports can build on the back of college football.
Mm-hmm. I won't deny that at all, and that's my point. That's my exact point.
Always has. Always has, and if it continues, it always will.
Yeah.
So the colleges. So maybe Joe, by selling, like you said, selling the name and rights to semi-pro teams, this is how they supplement that's the income they need to run the other sports in the school. Maybe that's it. Or, and it's not really logical for them to, just say, all right, these top 40 universities or whatever, we're going to do our own thing. We're going to separate top 50. You take all the sports with it, and then so let only those other sports compete against those top schools. Well,
that's the problem. Football, is like Ohio State
to their sport.
Ohio State and like Stanford have 36 total sports, whereas the SEC teams, most of those schools have like half.
22, 23, 22, 23.
No, like 18. Like
18?
So like half of what Ohio State has in total sports. So you can't really create a level playing field for all sports. That's impossible.
And that was the point I was going to make, because like schools like Johns Hopkins, they're in the Big Ten for lacrosse.
Exactly.
But they're a powerhouse in lacrosse.
Right.
And they're in the Big Ten, but they don't have other sports.
Right.
The schools that are only basketball schools.
Yep.
That are
Notre Dame, ACC.
Yeah. So I mean, you can't really. That was I was just bringing up the point that you can't bring all the sports from your school and keep them and just bring them all into this power super conference, because it's not relatable. Like
right. That's why I'm saying breaking football away from the NCAA. As Gene said this, and this is not like him just being wasted at the bar. You know that he has thought this through and probably talked to other athletic directors about it, and presidents, like the president of Ohio State, probably, so this is not just him, with a brain fart one day.
Yeah, but
you know,
there's a lot of speculation. I mean, it could mean a million things, and who knows
that is true.
what that means by. I think we're insinuating a lot of things, and a lot more detail needs to be said regarding any of that.
Right, and none of this is
And
going to
what
happen overnight.
and what that means. But something like that will happen. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can hold out for another 5 years. Introduce a 16 team playoff or something, but I don't know. This money's pouring in. It's and pouring in from everywhere.
What was that new deal the CFP inked as far as they said it was going to guarantee to stay 4 teams for the next 3 years or 4 years?
Oh, that's still in the same contract.
20
Yeah, the contract doesn't expire till 25,
26?
26. Yeah.
I just was saying 25 or 26. I couldn't remember.
So that,
Okay.
yeah.
So I mean, maybe we don't see any change until they just kind of line it all up together with that
Right.
contract renewal. But I guarantee that. But if that's going to happen, then it's being put in motion now, especially with Emmert being a lame duck. The weakness of the NCAA right now. They might be looking for a way out too. If I don't know whoever it is, is it the athletic directors or is it the presidents that are meeting with the NCAA saying, "Hey, we think we're going to try. Let's talk about an exit plan here." And kind of working something out.
Well, that's the thing is the CFP
who handles
is
that
a
shit? I wanna
contract
be in
with
those
the TV
conversations.
networks. The CFP is not a contract with the NCAA whatsoever. So it's completely separate.
Yeah.
The CFP is strictly with the TV networks, with ESPN. And so in 3 years or whatever, it's just a matter of, do you guys want to break off from the NCAA because you're not represented there anyways, and just sign this contract with just the Power 5 conference commissioners or something to that effect. Power 3, it could be whatever, pick your bag. So it could.
Well, I mean, I guarantee the next contract that's inked, you're not going to have 5 power conferences and 4 automatic bids. That's it. That will be changed.
Well,
either there's 4, either there's only 4 involved. There's only a power 4, or they're gonna expand the numbers.
But is the Big 12 really a Power 5 once they lose Texas and Oklahoma next year?
That's what I'm leading to, Joe. Now, are they gonna stay with 5 conferences at 5?
They're getting Cincinnati.
It's Cincinnati, UCF. Yeah, the best of the rest. I mean, they're getting. I mean, they're doing what they can. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, they can't do any better. So they've gotten the best schools they could.
Yeah, they're picking their teeth up off the floor. But yeah, they've already gotten their ass kicked.
I just can't imagine these commissioners. If these commissioners of these conferences are still worth the fuck, and the egos they probably have, you can't. They're not going to agree to a new agreement that says guaranteed 4 teams. Only guaranteed 4 of the 5 of us will make it. They're going to want guarantees that if there's going to be 5 of them, that 5 of them have a chance to make it. The champion from each. Right. It just it should have never been a Power 5 when they said we're only going to allow 4, and we're gonna weigh conference championships as a big deal, right. And then only have 4 slots. And what if all 5 people win their conference championships? The 5th one's like, what the fuck? I won mine too. So I just that's gonna be the numbers will expand, or they're gonna go down to 4 conferences, and that could make what 18-team conferences or 20-team conferences maybe. 4 20-team conferences.
Yeah, it depends on how they get absorbed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right, exactly. And who wants who, and then you got a whole new bidding on teams.
Ohio State doesn't want Cincinnati in their conference because then it becomes like a rival for recruiting and everything else.
We would love to drop Illinois, shit like that.
Right.
That could lead to a whole, then with the NIL and transfer portal and all that bullshit. And then so the football teams and the organizations for football are worrying about that and their free market, player acquisitions. you have the colleges also fighting and jockeying for position in this new landscape of, you know, who's coming where and when, and you know who's got the pull that can bring other teams with them. You know, because they're going to want Ohio State, but who are we going to hitch our wagon to as far as who we'll say will pull with us, and if they want who we're pulling with us, and
that's the other
you
thing
never know.
when we're talking about this CFP contract. You know, obviously brings in huge money because basically it's the TV network footing the bill to whatever conferences they align with.
Yeah.
So they
TV
have the power, and as they kind of always have, with the money that they're throwing at these colleges, they have the power to determine what conferences they sign on that contract.
Yeah,
right?
I agree. Yeah, they are. They are definitely the pulling strength. ESPN having the control of the CFP, they're pulling strings on a lot of that.
Mm.
But there's all kinds of meetings from the shit that like Gene Smith spoke about to that all that we just discussed about conference realignment. All of that is, I mean, can you imagine those conversations where anything and everything is going on in college football from how many different angles?
I think it just basically says, as far as college football goes, everything's on the table.
Everything
could go.
Right.
Yeah.
This could go one of a million ways.
Right.
Right. Sure. So yeah, I mean, I don't think, as I said, I don't think the games over the next couple of years are going to change. Like we're still going to see the games the way we've been watching them. But like, it just it might be, it's gonna be crazy. Like from year to year, it might be like a whole new team.
But we're like 1 year into NIL, and Texas A&M's got like the best class ever.
Right.
And because they're smart about it, you get that Texas money rolling around there, College Station, and but other teams are going to figure it out. There's a lot of other rich schools out there too. And
right. They were the first one to get organized on NIL. Now you see USC is last to the party, but they're throwing a lot of money around.
And they'll do well out there on the West. They're USC has a real good chance of becoming real good real quick again.
Sure.
Real good.
Yeah.
Because they got the coaches throwing that money, the guys
got
all
the money now.
Up.
They can get all those kids back. I mean, they used to get every good kid west of the Mississippi.
Right.
I mean, unless you were in Texas, they'd get every Arizona kid, every California kid.
Yeah.
Utah. Yeah.
Reggie Bush was from fucking Louisiana, wasn't he?
No, San Diego.
No, I thought he was from
Joe McKnight. Joe McKnight.
Yeah, and they pull some of those kids too. They don't. I mean, they don't just get all the best kids on that side of the country. They'll pull from your side too.
Yeah. Exactly. So, all right, boys, that was a good conversation, and so we actually solved nothing, but our ears are on alert, and we see the change coming is what I gather, right?
Yeah, it could be. It really could go a million different ways. All this NIL could correct itself too. People start realizing they're giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars to these kids that don't fulfill it.
I know who's going to pay for these losses. Can you write these losses off to taxes, and what are all the rules with all that shit, man? 'Cause you're talking about big money. You're not talking about huge losses for a company.
What if Bijan blows out an ACL in first week of the season? How's that Lambo dealership feeling about that?
Yeah, what's the fine print in that contract that they signed? So you're gonna have kids. You want to talk about 18, 19, 20-year-olds getting distracted. Now they're gonna have their lawyers mixed up in contract disputes, and their girlfriend's gonna be fucking around on them.
What if the 18-year-old
and they're gonna be getting pressured by this
18-year-old
gets, you know what I mean? Like they're gonna have a million things.
Getting in an argument with his girlfriend or driving a little bit drunk home, and this guy's representing whatever.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I just saw Bryce Young was at a 5-star resort last weekend in Southern California, and then I just saw this weekend C.J. Stroud is in the U.S. Virgin Islands at a 5-star resort.
Beautiful. Yeah. The guys from the Athletic, Ari Wasserman, is getting married out there. So
Right, exactly. Yeah. Bryce Young was at the resort. So it's like, so this is what we got. So anyways.
Hey, they're living their lives. If people are going to pay them for it, shit. I mean,
they're making 7 figures, dude. I can't argue with them. I would do the same shit.
Yeah.
With my free time, I'm going to 5-star resorts on the island.
Yeah. You're 19, 20 years old. Like, fuck it, man. So yeah.
You don't have to go to Sandals.
Yeah. You die from the Freon leak or whatever they got going on. I heard about that shit today.
Anyway, so all right, folks. Hope you enjoyed that show. Tried to give you a good, I guess, view of how we see things going. But as we know, this is all in motion still, and it's going to play out over the next few years. I do think when that CFP contract ends, everybody's going to want to have their chips in order and have their conferences sorted out, who's going to be on TV where, and how many playoff teams there will be, so I think that's kind of your end point or your milestone or whatever. But Jeff and Shawn, appreciate you guys as always, and appreciate our Buckeye listeners. We will come back with another show in middle of summer. Is that definitive enough?
Hi.
All right, boys. Have a good night.
Whenever, brother. Anytime.
Talk to you later.
Later.
All right. Go Bucks.